So, it is Wednesday, which means it's time for a little work in progress Wednesday. I thought I would drop in and share where I am and how my week has gone, which is not that great, to be honest with you. So, for those of you who are newer to my channel, haven't been on my Patreon before, this is your first video. I'm Aradia. I'm the resident witch and creatrix over to Radiant's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. And on Wednesdays, I like to do two things. A little work in progress Wednesday, and a check-in from my intentions that I set on Monday, when it is that I do those, which I did this week. So, the whole concept of Work in Progress Wednesday, for those of you who are new, is a holdover from the fiber community. Oftentimes when we are working on, knitting, weaving, crochet, anything, really, the progress seen is very incremental. So if you watch me work for an hour or watch the before and the after or look at pictures, it doesn't really look like a whole lot has been done. Over the course of a couple of days, over several hours, it's a lot easier to see progress made. And so Work in Progress Wednesday became a thing. Because a lot of people who appreciate art do appreciate seeing the incremental steps. And, when you speed them up like that, it's much easier to see the progress than if you were to just watch everything basically live. So, and when something is really long term, or there's a lot of parts, or a lot of pieces, or there's just a lot of work to do, it's easier to see things when you stretch it out over every couple of days or every so many hours. So, because I love seeing stuff like that, I wanted to share that from my work so that you can see it, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. As far as the check-in, so I like to set an intention, kind of make some weekly plans on Monday. And if you're gonna set intentions, if you're gonna make plans, you got to check in on them. There's kind of no point to making a plan and never evaluating it, never reflecting on it, never checking in on it. Because then how do you know what worked, what didn't work, how far you got, how far you didn't get, what you might need to change if you don't check in. And I think that's probably, after not making a plan at all, the next problem with people being productive and getting things done is that when you do make a plan, you don't come back and visit it again. And you need to, so there you go. I'm scrolling through my notes. Let's see where we are now. Okay. So, on Monday, I had a real shit day. Just everything went wrong. Nothing was going right. And it started pretty much out the gate. And that was super, super frustrating. And if you'd like to see Monday's video, I will link it in the links below in case you missed it. And actually, let me make a little note to do that. Ooh. Those of you who are new, when I think of stuff in the middle of the video, I will stop and do it right then. Because if I don't, I won't be able to hold on to the thought. So, let's see. And Monday's Patreon post was late. I didn't post it until Tuesday. So, yes, when you look at it and the date is not Monday, that's why. On top of that, there's been, because things have started off so poorly and just other things that I'm dealing with and just being in this weird place of limbo and waiting, which is not a fun place for me. I've been dissociating a lot. I've been really stressed a lot. And if you've been keeping up with my videos over the last, week or so, you have noticed me getting lost a lot more often, which is me dissociating, just trying to hold on to where I am and what's going on and having trouble doing that. And one of the things that I decided was I was trying to come forward and bring that more into my work, not to do anything other than, hey, this is what this looks like. And this is what this is like for me. And this is what this means and everything like that. Because I want to help end the stigma of mental illness. A lot of things people are just afraid of because they don't understand. And as someone who deals with a lot of things, it's really hard to explain some of the stuff. And it sounds really weird and trippy and, for lack of a better way to put it, crazy. And it's You know, the brain is funny. It does weird things. And a lot of coping mechanisms, you know, your brain does what it can, when it can, how it can. And sometimes that leads to some weird experiences or things that are just hard for other people who've not gone through them to understand. And so I am here to clear those issues up and also remind other people that are like me that, hey, you can have these issues and, you know, not become a complete basket case. You can, you know, exist. And I would like to think that I'm on my way to thriving. I'm not there yet, but I've also got like a lot of other things going on too. So my perspective on where I am is probably not what it will be, hopefully, you know, by the end of the month and in a couple of years and so on and so forth. And right, we grow and we change every day, every week, every month, every year. So yeah, ideally, you aren't the same person that you were a year ago. And hopefully that's for better, but sometimes it really isn't. So, the other thing is I've also been super tired. I think because of Monday being so stressful, I just ended my day early. I went to bed at 8, which is not something I do. I was just done. I was over it. I had reached my limit. I could not deal with it anymore and said, all right, well, we're done. No more. And that was Monday. So, yeah. Let's see. I keep losing myself in my notes because I don't have my glasses on because the glare is terrible for you, not for me. But it's distracting for me, so I just take them off, which means it's hard for me to read. I also have not been drinking as much caffeine. So my phone is currently being held up by my chai, which is a type of spiced tea. And then I've got my green tea here, which I have not touched. And I think this is the first cup of green tea I've made this week, and maybe in the last couple days before that too. So that means I'm not getting as much caffeine, which means I'm more tired more frequently, which is honestly one of the things that I have to deal with is insomnia. And so I am pretty much always tired. And then I take medications for my anxiety, which also make me tired. It's super exciting. Super exciting. And I hate being tired. And unfortunately, I can't get enough sleep to not be tired. And when you are tired because of medication, it's not the same kind of tired as being actually physically tired or mentally tired. And so rest doesn't make it go away necessarily. At least it doesn't for me. I'm still tired regardless of whether I sleep 8 hours or not, or more or less. So I just end up not, because I'd rather get stuff done, frankly. So there's that. So I'm trying to get back into my caffeine regimen. Also, whenever I have my green tea, I don't put sugar in it, which is funny. A sidebar, I was walking from the school of dropping my wee person off this morning, and somebody that I'm not in the habit of talking to people when I'm out. I want to go out, do what I'm supposed to do, and go back home and get to my safe place and not interact with people if I can help it, which makes me look rude and antisocial, but I'm really just trying to keep it together all the time because I'm kind of like a cat in a rocking chair factory. It's not a good look. Anyway. And I just got lost. I've said this before. Now that I'm like announcing it outside of my head that I get lost, it's becoming more and more apparent to me how often it happens. And I think I was dismissing it before, and so I wasn't really cluing into how much of a problem it actually is for me, because I didn't realize how often it is happening. But and not acknowledging it doesn't make it happen less, by the way, like at all. Now I'm gone. It's gone. It's gone. Oh, okay. Wait. I got it. I reeled it back in. Yay, I found the thought. So someone didn't stop me, but started talking to me while I was walking, and they were like, "Oh, you look great, and you've been losing weight. What have you been doing? How you've been doing?" Which is a very standard thing people ask you, and I'm actively trying to. So If I wasn't, or if I was not eating because my depression was swinging really wide and hard and heavy, I probably would not have reacted positively to that statement. But I have actively been trying to go to the gym and trying to do this and try to do that. So, better received as a result of that. But I answered them, and after we diverged our paths, I realized, you've been eating a lot of candy lately, and you haven't been going to the gym, and you haven't been minding what you've been eating or keeping your activity level up. You should probably go back to doing that. And I'm like, yeah. And basically, I treat it as it's something to do. Really, it's not something I enjoy or don't enjoy. I really don't have any feelings on most things, which is really weird. But yeah. So, I did get my planner updated on Monday. And then on Tuesday I had to do it again. And today I've had to do it again. So my morning routine was spent transcribing and migrating tasks because I bullet journal. And if you'd like to know more about bullet journaling, I will link my last post about it below too. So let's do that. Let's see. Up. Which reminds me, one of the things that I have to do that I didn't finish is setting up the rest of October. So let's see. Which I don't like having to migrate. I actually have a time of the day where at the end of the day, once I'm like, okay, business is closed, no more, I will take the time to evaluate what I did and didn't do, make sure I mark everything off, add it to my to-do list. And then I'll go and move everything that needs to be moved forward, cancel anything that just doesn't need to get done or whatever. And I haven't been doing that, which means I have to do it first thing in the morning. And part of why I haven't been doing that is because I've been just tired. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to just like write things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, that's the thing. And it's tedious and it's mind-numbing and it's just not what I want to be doing with my time. But I know that when I don't do it, I just have to do it later. Like, it needs to be done. So it just makes me grumpy, and I should just do it when I mean to do it. Yay! So there's that. I've yet to share any of my old Patreon posts. I've got like a dozen to share, to include all the ones for this month and a bunch for the previous month, which I said I wanted to do it, so I'm going to do it, even though they're super freaking late. Because why the hell not? And then I've got some artistic musings, some links I wanted to share, some places I wanted to share to my personal page or elsewhere, and I haven't gotten around to doing that either. And honestly, none of those things are going to take forever, but they're not a 30-second task. They're not a minute task. They're not even a 2-minute task. They're like a several minute task. Like, I would say they're all upwards of 5 minutes. And because of that, I don't have the time to just stop what I'm doing and do it, because what I think is going to take, not that much time ends up taking 30 minutes or something like that. Because that's everything. I have a really skewed version of time. Like, this is not just me. A lot of people, I can't remember. It's a logical fallacy, or it's a bias where you underestimate the amount of time that things are going to take, or you overestimate your ability to do them. And when those two things work together, that's a mess, because then you're like, oh, this is super easy, so it's going to take me no time at all. Things take the time they take. That's just how that is, which is, I don't like it. I wish I could speed things up or move faster or whatever, and I can't. So there's that. Let's see. Yeah. The other things I had left were some admin stuff, which those tasks probably won't take that much time. And then some pattern writing. Those I've got 2 that I want to write. They're both stitch patterns. And those are going to take way longer. So I've been putting them off, and I really should just not, because they're also really simple tasks. Like, I have a template. I know what I want to put. I've already written all the notes out. All I have to do is take pictures, which I think I have some, but I'll take more because I don't know where they are. and then put it all together and we're done. Oh no, we're at our 15-minute mark, so I'm going to try and wrap this up quickly. So, yeah. As far as what I'm working on, I've got a ton of catch up to do, like all the shares and everything that I want to get done. Everything else, project-wise, is on the back burner except for the cardigan, and that's because I want it done. I did do some switching around to some of my listings. So it used to be that I would... Will you be quiet? You're hurting your foot. Did you know that? You need to stop hurting your foot. This dog. She's got nervous issues, which is terrible because I have nervous issues. And so I understand, but I also know that what she's doing is terrible. So, yeah. This dog's got such nerves. Things that we didn't know when we adopted you, huh? I wish they had told us. I don't think that would have stopped me from adopting her, but I just wish I had had a warning instead of finding things out the hard way. So, yeah, I was listing things on Friday, I guess, originally. So let's go back a little bit for those who don't know and who haven't been with me this whole time. Originally, I had these grand plans to list things 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And when my writing system and my setup for things was a lot simpler, that worked. And then I'm like, well, that's also a lot. And then what happens is, if you don't get Mondays done, does that mean you move it to Wednesday, or do you have to then list 2 things on Wednesday? And so then I started spreading it out more and more and more and more. And then it went out to, okay, well, let's list things once a week. And that way I'll work on it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And ideally it'll be done on Friday, so I'll be able to hit publish. And while that's totally possible, what ends up happening is, if I get everything done, which has happened before, I've been able to get everything up by Friday, then it's oh, hey, by the way, last minute, all of a sudden, I have a thing up. And I wanted to try something a little different. So I'm trying to basically give more information and more indication about something being released sooner. So instead of working on this week's listing, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to work on next week's listing, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then have little notes go out about it, throughout the 2-week period. It's still not going to be live until next Friday, not this Friday, the Friday after. But that way it gives me a little more lead time. It gives me a little more time to work on things. And I'm trying to reduce the strain and stress on getting things done quicker than it's maybe possible or that I have time for. And so this is really new, and I just started this, and I don't have any, I don't have anything to say to it. I won't say that it's less stressful, because a deadline is a deadline is a deadline, and I don't like deadlines, and I don't do well with them. And, but things have to get done. So there has to be a time at which it has to be done. So that's not avoidable. But I'm hoping by giving myself maybe a little more time, it'll be less stressful to me. We'll see. I don't have any words yet. So the other thing is, what's the other thing? Oh, is the lead time. Yeah. Later this afternoon, I hope to get some writing done that I'll be able to finish. We'll see. Usually my afternoon work time is the most difficult for me to get to, because then my little is home and I have that to deal with, and they usually need me. And so I can't really focus on work, which means it just doesn't get done, which is fine. But yeah, I'm still trying to reconcile exactly how to make that work. And then later in the evening, there will be time for the cardigan, hopefully, fingers crossed. I did work on it a little bit last night. I just didn't get as much done as I wanted to. And then I've got more notes on a course that I was taking with money and astrology that I'm typing up. And then I need to set up the promotions for Thursday through Saturday. I did not set up any promotions from Sunday to Wednesday. And I'm really mad about that, because that's one of those evening things that I have to do. It's late at night, and it also frequently gets put off. As you can guess, it's late at night and I'm tired. So that's a giant pain in the ass. As far as where I am in the Sevrine, I'm right at the place where we're doing the incremental decreases. And so when you do sleeves, right, you'll either do decreases or increases. If you start here at the armhole, then you'll be doing decreases every so many rounds. If you start at the cuff, then you would be doing increases every so many rounds, and that's just to get the shape of the sleeve. What's left after that is I will finish those, do the cuff part right here, which is, this is not the sweater, but just for illustration. I'll be doing the cuff, and then that's it. Yay, sweater time. So, yeah. I'm really ready to be done, honestly. I'm just so ready to be done. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got on it. So I'd love to hear from you. What are you working on this week? How's it going? You can scroll below. One, see a picture of the sweater for the progress that's been made so far, which it probably isn't going to look like much of anything, but I'll show it to you anyway. And then, of course, if you'd like to see all the links that I've mentioned, my Patreon post from Monday, the last Bujo setup, and then the project page from my Ravelry, the pattern page from the designer, so that if you like this pattern and you want to make it yourself, you can. The yarn I use and the needles I'm using, you can scroll into the post below. If you're watching this on YouTube, at the very top of the description, I will have the link over to Patreon, which, as a reminder for everybody, for the month of October, I am making all of my Patreon posts public, just to see where it leads. Does it do anything? Does it spark any interest? Does anybody care? Other than me? And yeah, so all of those are linked. You won't see any pictures on YouTube, obviously, because I can't link pictures, and I'm not going to link a link to somewhere else because, like, for just a picture, I'll just send you over to Patreon. And if you're watching this on Patreon and you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, share it with your friends, and if you super dig what I'm doing, consider joining my Patreon, because I don't know how long I'm going to keep everything public after October, whether I am or not. But if you want to absolutely get access to all the content that I'm putting out, Patreon is the place to do it. I have various tiers. There will be some changes probably come the 1st of November. I'll announce those as relevant. But I would love to see you over there. And regardless of whether you want to become a patron or not, feel free to share my Patreon with everybody you know. I like to talk about art, magic, intuition, creativity, energy work, ritual, how it all comes together, and my experience with all these things over there. So that's it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this video was so much longer than I wanted it to be. My bad. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is... Let's check. You know, it's not written down. I'm pretty sure tomorrow's just project time. I don't have anything special, which means I will be working on a project live, and live means right now I will work on it, I will record it, and you'll get to see it. YouTube made some changes where they don't do lives in certain ways now, which super sucks. I don't like it, which is boo. I might also pop in on Instagram and Facebook Live. I don't do Facebook Live a lot, if at all. Like, I think I've done it 2 or 3 times, and that's it. I've done Instagram Live a little more, but whenever I'm doing lives, really, you're getting to watch me work, and it's not easy or convenient for me to talk, so I usually don't try to. We are officially hitting the almost 10 minutes over my time though mark, so I'm gonna skedaddle because I have pictures to take and this video to upload and everything, and then other stuff to do after that. So thank you for being here. Remember to like, subscribe, share, follow, everything, all the things, do all the things, and I will see you tomorrow.